Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, and welcome back to the Parc'd podcast by Parc'd. Today it is episode Antonio Felix de Costa. It is episode 13 of season 2 of the podcast, which very, very fitting because we are, in fact, as you are watching this, we will be in London for the London E-Prix. It's the season finale for Formula E this weekend coming. Literally, as you're watching this, we would have been at the track all day. So, happy Formula E race weekend. Antonio Felix da Costa is somehow now in the championship battle after what we thought was going to be really hit or miss. There are, I think, 7 drivers that can potentially walk away with the championship this weekend, mathematically. So that's wild. There's 3 championships that can be won this weekend: the manufacturers, the teams, and the drivers' championship. So all to play for with that. But that's all to be discussed at a later point, because we have some very special racing events. One very special, 2 most definitely special racing events to discuss today. I'm getting excited already about it. Sorry. I love reliving this day. The last 2 Parc'd podcasts, I have been the happiest person in the world. Like, why these my boys, my boys. Where do we want to start? We have to start with Silverstone because WEC occurred the weekend just gone. So we start from the latest point. Do we want F1, F2, or F3?
F3, F2, F1.
F3 to start with. F3 at Silverstone. So we are going back a weekend, 2 weekends, as you guys are seeing this, because it's the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend. A lot happened in Silverstone, especially with Formula 3. A brand new record was set in Formula 3. A 16-year-old made history as the only, I'm pretty sure this is exactly correct, but correct me if this fact is wrong, because this is what I'm remembering it as. He has set the record as the only driver to win both the sprint race and the feature race in Formula 3.
Oh, yeah,
correct. Is it ever, or is it just at Silverstone?
Ever.
Ever, I'm pretty sure.
Ever. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when
I'm pretty sure it's ever.
That, I'm pretty sure it's ever. Because I remember on the Sky, they said George Russell did it at Silverstone in GP3, but he did not. So I remember then going through all these GP3 results and could never once
I'm pretty sure I wrote it in the article. So if it's not right, then whoopsies.
So, yes, 16-year-old British boy, Arvid Lindblad, won the sprint race on Saturday and the feature race on Sunday. Before anyone comes at me for calling him a British boy, he races under the British flag. He was born in Britain. He is a British boy. He is of Indian and Swedish ancestry, so
I think he references it as his home Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So if he references it as his home Grand Prix, then it's the boy's home Grand Prix.
I'm pretty sure it's his parents are Indian and Swedish, but he is born and raised in the UK. He's a British boy at 16.
Yeah.
16. There was a video, I don't know if you guys saw it, of Arvid Lindblad seeing Lando Norris in, I want to say 2020, and he was like, one of the 2 of them said to each other that I'll see you in racing soon. And at this rate, he will. However, looking back to 2022 here, when we made our stupid little conspiracy theory that Arvid Lindblad was going to win the F1 championship in Red Bull livery in 2027 in car number 7, right?
Absolutely.
Won't happen, purely based on the fact that he's not going to be in F1 in 2027, seeing as he is only now in F3. However...
You never know.
However, whenever I say however like that, I get one video coming into my head. However, Please tell me you know what video I'm
You're
on.
right, Neymar. Sunny in it.
However,
The weather.
the weather.
Alright, Neymar. Sunny in it.
However, the likelihood is he is going to be in F2 in 2027. And that means there is a bit...
It has to be.
He has to be. That does mean he could potentially race car number 7. Car number 7 is currently the Dams. With Jack Crawford currently races the 7. But currently in the championship right now, where would you have to place to be car number 4th? 4th in the championship right now is High Tech. And Arvid Lindblad currently races for Prima. So, at Prima's rate, they probably will be P4 in 2027 if he sticks with them. So we could see Arvid Lindblad win the F2 championship in 2027 in car number 7 in the Red Bull livery, so still counts. That's all I'm saying.
I still think he can get to F1.
And win the championship in his rookie year.
If he does F2 next year, and no, then just go straight to F1, then he has 2 years.
He's going to pull a Max Verstappen, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just skip F2, straight to F3.
Well, not even go to F1. Do you know what it is? When I was doing the Meet the Driver things, everyone else has got, like, GB2 champion or, like, F2 second place, and I just left it as one thing, because that's the only thing he did for the series.
He literally went carring F3 and they were like, put the child in the car. And Max Verstappen is now a 3-time, almost 4-time world champion. So maybe taking a driver and making them skip F2 works for some drivers. Arvid Lindblad, it's up to you, babe. Up to you. I don't know where they're going to put you. Maybe we chuck Perez out, because I don't know if you guys have seen those rumours. Apparently, when Sergio Perez signed his contract, there is a exit release clause for Red Bull to release him. What if they release him and Arvid Lindblad goes in the car and then he wins? Conspiracies, okay. Anyway, Arvid Lindblad won the sprint race, as we said. Also won the feature race on Sunday. Absolute icon. How? That's insanity. Who was on pole position? Luke Browning was on pole position in the feature race.
Here's my F3 driver. I've decided it.
Luke Browning. That means that between the 3 of us, we preoccupy the top 3. Because Arvid Lindblad is one of my F3 drivers, seeing as all of my F3 children left me to go to F2. So all I have left currently.
I didn't choose one, so I was just like, yeah. I didn't have one, but I remember watching him in British F4, and I was like, I'll root for him. And then went to F3, and I was like, do you know what? That's the only name really that I know. At that point, it was the only name that I knew. So I was like, you could be my driver.
I pick you. I pick you.
Yeah.
This has meant, though, that the championship battle has gotten really, really, really tight again. It was already really tight before, but it has gotten really tight. Because Gabriel Muni finished P6 in the sprint race and then finished 2nd in the feature race. So a decent amount of points for him. And the other drivers that were on the podium was Matthias Zagazzetta. I don't know why I paused so much between his name. Matthias Zagazzetta. Finished P3 in the sprint race. And Callum Boyson finished P3 in the feature race. And I am so happy, don't get me wrong, that Arvid won the double and made history. But I would have loved to see Callum Boyson win that race.
Oh, he was doing so incredible, honestly.
He was having a absolutely phenomenal drive. And the fact that he was running P1, Rodin have not had a good year so far in F3.
Nope.
They have pretty much not been anywhere near the points for the most part. Joseph Loke took points in Monaco. The P3 for Callum Boyson was his 2nd points finish, his first being P4 in the sprint race in Silverstone, so his first points were at his home race. And then Wisnicki took P5 in the feature race in Silverstone, and that was his first points as well. So the Rodin boys haven't had the success that obviously they would want. And to see Callum Boyson, I just think, win would have just been so nice. But I was obviously really happy to see Arvid win as well. If it just wasn't for the penalty, like Boyson did cross obviously the line first. And then the penalty took him down to P3. So I'm glad he still remained on the podium. But it's a little bit going. But that did mean that across the weekend, that was, what, two British boys on the podium in Silverstone. Luke Browning, so currently Gabriel Mini is P1 in the championship standings on 119 points. Arvid Lindblad is behind him on 113 points.
So close.
Luke Browning has now dropped down to P3 in the championships on 112 points. After in the sprint race he took no points, and then in the feature race he finished P8 after starting on pole position, so he got his pole position points and the points for P8. So it's really, really tight. P4 is Leonardo Fornaroli, who's on 93 points, so he's just out of the 100. But that quite literally means nothing in F3, because he could be back on top literally by the end of Hungary. So
yeah,
it's really a case
like
of watch this space.
Three races, it's just been like chopping and changing.
Yeah.
Like who's where, whether someone's in the top 3 or not. It's just all, it's been manic. So
the Tridents.
don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Is it Tridents? Am I meant to be talking about the Tridents? I think I am talking about the Tridents. Yeah, the Tridents. The Trident has been doing really well with Leonardo Fornaroli. Campos is Oliver Goethe.
I always never know how to pronounce that.
I think is P5 behind obviously Fornaroli. So you've got the you've got two Promos taking obviously the top spot at this moment in time. You've got Luke Browning, who is in the high tech, and he is currently obviously at P3. Fornaroli in the Trident, Goethe in the Campos, and then Boganovic in the Prema. So Prema is obviously still the car that's performing the best in F3, I'd like to point out. But do you know what I'm finding very, very surprising here? So that's the top 6. I don't know if any of you have the standings up right now.
Yeah.
Damn it, I was going to say, can you guess who's P7?
No, sorry.
It's okay. P7.
I won't guess.
Have you got the championship standings up, Katie?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Christian Mansell is at P7, which is... This is me once again stating that I do not think Christian Mansell is a bad driver. I constantly say Christian Mansell, phenomenal driver. But if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season this man would be in P7, fighting for podiums, I would have been like, what? Really?
Yeah, honestly.
He has been absolutely smashing it. He didn't have a very successful weekend in Silverstone. He took 2 non-point finishes. But the ART's actually been doing pretty well this season.
Yeah, and it's still because we
Once again, can we just say the ART is doing really well this season in F3? Yeah, we ignore F2. Let's not go there.
Keeping on the conversation of ARTs though, in P8 behind Christian Mansell is his teammate Nikola Tislov, who took P5 in the sprint race in Silverstone. He's been doing really, really well this season. Obviously got 2 wins. He's taken 4 further point finishes after that. So 2 wins and then a P4, P5 and 2 P6s. So he's getting a decent points haul when he is in the points. I think he's been driving pretty well this season. I know he gets a lot of controversial opinions about him because of his social media presence. But I don't think that should discredit the fact that he is actually doing really well at the moment. Beforehand, if someone said to me that like I would be thinking that Tislov is performing really, really well, I'd have been like, really? But he's been doing great recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should really be looked at. Matthias Stenson was MIA from Silverstone this weekend. He was serving a penalty, essentially. He got a race ban for Silverstone for competing in another series at Silverstone without the FIA's permission. So, if you are completely unaware, if you are driving in a campaign like F2 or F3 and you wish to compete in a secondary campaign, even for just a couple of stints or like a couple of races, whatever, you have to get the FIA's granted permission to do that. If you don't and you do it, they view that as private testing, and you cannot test privately on like a racetrack coming up. If he'd have like raced in a series at a track he wasn't going to compete at in F2 or F3 or whatever, then he wouldn't have been given a penalty. The reason he's been given the penalty for Silverstone is because he did it at Silverstone. Like Nikola Tesla will be exempt from Spa because he competed in, I believe it was Euro Cup 3 without the FIA's permission at Spa. So James Wharton stepped in to replace Matthias Stenson. He took P18 and P21 in Silverstone, which most people would look at their results and be like, well, he didn't do very well. But with the amount of drivers on that grid, with 30 drivers on the grid, P18, P21 is not awful in your first time in an F3 car. So good for him. Absolutely slayed it. Good, successful Silverstone, I would say. Except I missed one of the races. And I missed one of the No, I didn't. I watched the race because the race got delayed, didn't it?
Yeah, until the evening.
Until 6 p.m. Yeah, I almost got up and woke up to watch the race and then woke up and saw it was delayed. What? Oh, the rain. I was like, what happened? I don't remember anything significant happening, but it was the rain. It was wet.
Right.
Very wet.
Yeah, and then they postponed it, and then it was like blue sky the entire race.
Blue
it was ridiculous.
skies.
Like, no, not that song. Any song but that song.
Sorry for party rocking. Going to the championship that really broke my heart in Silverstone is Formula 2. Formula 3, I had a ride, I was great, I was thriving, happy days. Formula 2, it do be like that with F2 sometimes. F2 really is an interesting series to have as the next step up to F1. I think people are seeing that more and more now.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Sorry, the storms just hit us.
Oh.
It was the biggest clap of thunder I've ever heard in my life. So if it all goes black, that's because I've lost power. Just a warning.
Got it. Yeah, I think people are really now starting to realise that F2 is an interesting choice for the next step to F1. Yeah, it's been a ride. The sprint race saw the two championship contenders retire from the race. Paul Aron and Isaac Kajar. This weekend in Silverstone also saw Paul Aron lose his championship lead, who now sits P2 in the championship behind Isaac Kajar, who went on to win the feature race, while Paul Aron finished P12 after a very, very eventful couple of races. However, the boy from Barbados is back. Oh my god, let me see if I can execute that correctly. The boy from Barbados is back. There we go, didn't stumble on that one. He took P2 in both the sprint race and the feature race. Phenomenal comeback.
That's great.
Because
absolutely.
He had started off great. 2 wins, sprint race, feature race, and Bahrain. 2-point finishes in Jeddah, and then a finish outside of the points in the sprint race in Melbourne, and a P3 on the podium. P3 again in Imola, and then out of the points, a retirement, more points, more out of the points, more points, more out of the points, retirements. Like, Austria was his worst weekend. And then to come back in Silverstone and take 2 P2s and see him as one of only 3 drivers who have exceeded the 100-point mark in F2 this season. He's on 101 points now. So, slay Zane. Slay Zane. Jack Crawford took to P3 in the feature race as well, meaning the podium was Izakajar, Zane Maloney and Jack Crawford. While in the sprint race, Chris Miney stepped onto the podium in P3 in the sprint race behind Zane Maloney. And that meant... Sorry. I've been waiting for this moment, okay? I've been waiting for this one because people on the internet love to run their mouth. And that's okay. You are allowed to like and dislike drivers and have your own opinions on things. That's fine. Where I draw the line is when you say that Andrea Kimi Antonelli is a bad driver. I will not stand on that because that man does not need to step foot into an F2 car and beat all these drivers to prove that he is a good driver. Running back to last year, you don't win back-to-back multiple championships in 1 year, gain enough points from those championships to secure a super license. I don't know if you guys know, you need 40 points to get a super license. He did that in like 1 year. That man is not a bad driver. So to see him finally get on the podium in F2 was just a sigh of relief, let alone to see him win his first race on the podium in F2. Like, I was so happy for that guy because he, since stepping into F2, has dealt with people down his neck. I could not imagine being a 17-year-old with this amount of eyes on me. Like, people go, oh, well, Max Verstappen was in F1, you know, at 17 years old, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Max Verstappen coped really, really well with it. Cool. But Max Verstappen was dealing with it while in F1. And for the most part, sometimes a majority give a benefit of the doubt with rookies coming in. And the fact that he wasn't performing horrifically in F1 meant that he was fine. No one was expecting him to jump into F1 and win races and get on podiums. People think very, very differently when you're going into F2 and already have links to F1 teams. People get way more opinionated. And there is obviously no confirmation that he's even going to F1 next year, whether he's doing a second year in F2, like, what's the hap? Just the fact that F1 teams see potential in him, because you have to be pretty blind to not see potential in Andrea Kimi Antonelli. His racecraft is great. He is a good little racer, and he is very, very passionate. And also, he is very lovely. He's a very nice man. He's a very nice man. I cannot fault his personality there. But to see him take his win, took the fastest lap as well. Great day in Silverstone there for me. Well, no, actually, it was not a great day in Silverstone there for me, but it was okay. You win some, you lose some. Ollie Behrman had a bit of a shambles of a weekend, following on from his fantastic new news that he will be a Haas Formula 1 driver for 2025. Making that he'll be he's the first announced rookie for the 2025 F1 season. That does mean that one of the drivers on the grid is leaving in F1. Yep. I wonder who it will be. I think we're going to see at least 2 F1 drivers leave next season.
Yeah. That's one.
Yeah. Because I don't see Mercedes. Maybe even 3. True. Obviously, Ollie Behrman's going, so that's one driver that's going. But your automatic reaction would be like. See, everyone's automatic reaction would be Logan Sargent, but Logan Sargent isn't even bottom of the standings. So I don't know why everyone's on his back. See, I can't see Bottas leaving.
I don't know. Maybe.
I could see him doing an IndyCar
At one
move.
point,
maybe.
he has to be done with F1 at some point. Like, realistically, he's not a championship-winning driver.
The thing is, we said that about Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, but Fernando Alonso's excuse for staying in F1 as long as he is the fact that he's won 2 championships, and if he wants to stay in F1 and fuck about for the next like 15 years, someone is going to pay him to do that, because it's something to them. Like it's like a bragging right to be like, I have a 2-time world champion on my team. What have you got? A 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these things will always happen. If any of these world champions leave, or like ones that have left want to come back, like I feel like if Jenson Button said, hey guys, I'm actually looking to do F1 for a season next year, people will start dropping their drivers. Sebastian Vettel walks onto the scene. Hi guys, I want to do a year in F1. Okay, goodbye, you're leaving. Hi Sebastian, we have a seat for you.
Yeah.
Like this is how it runs.
Their experience is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Valtteri Bottas has insane experience, but I think he spent too long in F1 as a second driver that his potential to become a world championship is slim to none. He's a good driver. I just can't see him winning an F1 championship. I can't see him actually ever getting a seat with a team that could get him an F1 championship.
Yeah, I think that's more.
And
my point.
Looking at it, he's not going to be with Sauber next year. Sauber have already signed Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg is already going to Sauber next year. That means that one of the Sauber boys would definitely be leaving.
There you go.
I could see both Sauber drivers. I could see both Sauber drivers leaving Sauber. I think Sauber will have an entire new lineup next year. Whether that means leaving the sport or not, they might. I don't know. It's a sticky one. Carlos Sainz still hasn't signed a seat, so he could be going anywhere.
True.
He might be at Sauber next year. People are gonna go because Ollie Behrman's in.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Did you see do his little interview going, oh, it'd be quite good to have Carlos Sainz as my teammate at Alpine. I was like, absolutely not. No. I don't know who I want in the space, but no. No. But it's confirmed that Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc are both Swifties.
Hell yeah.
So that's fun.
Shady's gonna shake it out, and never miss a beat.
Oh.
And they were in the VIP tent, which means Taylor Swift invited them. You're gonna get in the VIP tent with Taylor Swift's invite. How iconic. Anyway, yes, Ollie Behrman. That's what we were talking about beforehand, before we got distracted. P7 in the feature race, a retirement in the sprint race. We had so many retirements. 6 retirements. One being Victor Martins. Pepe Marti retired and Zach O'Sullivan also retired. So it was a wee bit chaotic. Roman Stanek went back up into the points in the sprint race as well for the first time since Monaco. He finished P8. Yes, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, phenomenal sprint race, P1, retired from the feature race. Silverstone gave us everything and way more than we ever asked for. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Hungary. Realistically, could be anything at this point. All the drivers that seem to do really bad in the sprint race did alright in the feature race, and the bunch of drivers did well in the sprint race just didn't do as well in the feature race. Chaos.
And then you just had the ART of Victor Martins.
Yeah, didn't get
to be fair, right, when the ART, right, actually is allowed to race by other drivers, it is a feisty car. It is a pacey car. It's always sort of up there. It's just the fact that they're like, oh no, it's got too much pace. Yeet him off the track before he can actually get up there.
Okay.
And I say that as if it's a common occurrence because it is a common occurrence. I can probably count if I had a nickel for every time Victor Martin's been shunted off track, I'd have about 10.
Poor bloke.
Oh god. It was just
Just
when he
living his life.
qualified and he qualified ahead of Dennis Hauger, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
I just texted Alice and I was like, I'm scared now. I'm scared.
Mummy, come pick me
I don't
up.
want him behind.
He won.
Well,
didn't he?
So
Who?
Canapino won.
Malukas? No, Malukas.
David Malukas won.
When? Yesterday.
I did. Maybe not.
Are you making up things?
Oh
Did
no,
he?
it was Scott. No, it was Scott McLaughlin. Never mind. Like I
They
said, I
are
haven't
two
watched.
very different people.
I haven't watched a single minute. I've also haven't
Sorry, I'm
watched
quoting that
anything
into
that-
Effie.
Oh yeah, and then yesterday, Alex Rossi spun out and collected Stingray Rob, and Stingray Rob flew and flipped.
He flipped on an oval.
Yeah, like he got collected.
No, yeah,
went airborne.
it was a horrible crash.
I was gonna
He got
say.
he was laying on the stretcher and he stuck his thumb up for the cameras to say that he's okay, but I don't know what has been reported since.
Jesus.
He was airlifted to hospital. Oh yeah. Alexander Rossi ran out of fuel, so the car just basically stopped.
Going
And
on.
Stingray Rob went airborne.
Well, you can tell they haven't done ovals in a long time.
Okay. Formula
I'm ready.
1.
Juan.
My weekend was 98% fantastic.
My weekend started in France and ended in France.
I haven't been watching. I haven't been emotional attached to weekend since Monaco. After that, I stopped.
Yeah, it's almost like
What is
we need to find out who like created some sort of like deal with the heavens for a Charles Leclerc win in Monaco in exchange for a horrific rest of the season.
Yeah, no, we broke one curse and we got another one back. Apparently.
Celeste, I have a would you rather question.
Oh no.
Would you rather Shall keep his home win at Monaco and do shit the rest of the season, or him have an a good season but not win his home race and the curse continue?
Was a good season, because for Ferrari having a single point is a good season at the moment.
No, but like being in the points, contesting wins.
Does he win the championship?
Oh come on, let's be realistic. It's a Ferrari. Sorry.
So first, I've got told that I'm not a person for enjoying NASCAR. That was off screen, by the way. But anyways,
Katie, that was so rude of you to say to Celeste.
Me?
Why am I here?
I'm only asking you a simple
I am the only person in this call right now that is allowed to laugh and make jokes at people's expense about Formula 1.
Why?
You DNF'd. You're having a shit season. I am having a phenomenal season.
So you should be the person to just shut the fuck up. You have your fun. You don't need to make it worse for us.
I can tell you I'm having 104 times more fun than you are.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I fucking wish.
To be fair, between the three of us, we have 4 race wins, so... No?
Yeah.
No? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah. Woo.
Woo.
Yay.
Okay, cool. Right, yep. Still P3 in the championship, Charles Leclerc. Horrific Austria, horrific Silverstone. It was Silverstone, the race, where he took like... Yeah, he's P3 in the championship.
I know, but he's miles away.
He's only 105 points away from Max Verstappen.
Only 100.
He's only 21 points behind Lando Norris. So
Yeah,
one
but
race win and Lando Norris to DNF and your P2.
P2 doesn't matter in F1. Basically what you're saying, Charles Leclerc has to win 4 races with Max Verstappen DNFing 4 races, and then we still wouldn't be a championship leader. No, this sounds great.
It's okay, we're P7 and P8, so we have no championship title hopes. Hey!
Neither do we.
Anyway, I was the only driver. My driver was the only one to retire from the race. So,
True. No.
No, yours doesn't count as a retirement. He didn't fucking start the race.
Okay.
It's a retirement.
It doesn't count as a retirement. He didn't start the race, therefore it's a DNS, not a retirement.
Exactly. My driver didn't even make the fucking grid. Yours retired. I didn't. Could you imagine if against all
Driver
odds
didn't get lapped.
I got offered a ticket for F1 and I was like, no, because at that point we were going to Italy and I was like, no, it's gonna be too much for a rush to. I'm so fucking glad you telling me that Victor Martins did shit that weekend, and then I would have got there and been like, yay, Pierre Gasly. No, doesn't even fucking start the race because there's a 50-place grid penalty, and then they fuck up the gearbox.
A 50-place, can we point out, a 50-place grid penalty for changing, like,
5 components.
5 components of his car. And it still
and then
couldn't
they still
start.
couldn't get it right. Welcome to Alpine. Woo.
Oh.
I hope this is like a one-off season for you and not like the full decade I've been going through this shit.
Silverstone. Qualifying. What a great qualifying, everybody.
Qualifying, I have to say, was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
We had, for the first time ever, a British 1-2-3 in qualifying at Silverstone.
It was incredible, I have to say.
And the boy from Kingsland topped the session.
Yeah.
It's a very emotional one, okay? I got very emotional. I was feeling extra emotional, okay? It was just...
I was emotional. It's all the
emotional.
drama, Mick. I
It was
love it.
emotional. It was George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris top 3. Wow. What a Saturday. The Sunday. Not so good for George Russell. And it was his water, wasn't it? The water cooling thingy, my bob broke. Had to retire from the race. He was doing really, 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 really well as well. And the retirement. The only retirement from the race, as I stated, because Pierre Gasly didn't start. His car broke down on the formation lap. Yeah. However, Lewis Hamilton.
Just quickly. Oh yeah, now you go.
No, it's okay, you go. I can hold it
I'm
in.
just going to say, Pierre Gasly was going to be a driver that had a 50-place grid penalty and still started P19 on the grid.
I don't even know how you can do that. Like, how do you get a 50-place grid penalty and still start P19?
Honestly, it was going to be amazing. I was going to celebrate. I was going to cheer that man to stay P19. No, didn't even start. Sorry, Karen, you go now.
It's okay. Even with that DNS, he is still P15 in the standings, and his team is P18. So, French P is Frenching. Yeah, I was originally saying that on the Sunday, although George Russell retired, so sad day for Mercedes there, Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton of Alistair, took his 104th Formula 1 win.
First driver to win after their 300 start.
There we go, that's it.
Oldest winner of the 21st century. Longest gap between first and last wins, which was 17 years and 1 month. 12 most consecutive podiums at a single circuit.
Since first win to last one. Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, 17 years?
15 most podiums at a single circuit. 199 extended most podium records. Well, yeah, because he was currently holding that, the same for the 104 wins. And 9 most wins at a single circuit.
Yeah. So Lewis Hamilton crushed
No,
it.
9 records.
Yeah, as he should. That is phenomenal. If that doesn't even start to solidify his name in the GOAT debate, I really don't know what else you can ask for from him. Yeah, no, very emotional. I cried. He cried. Everyone cried.
Yeah, I feel like he really needed that to like.
He did.
Because obviously he's leaving Mercedes. Mercedes is not really in a spot where they win races. They've been better this part of the season, I think. But
yeah, I really don't know what's happened, like what we put in our car, but like,
yeah, it's been great.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah, but I'm happy Lewis got that last win with Mercedes to at least give them the confidence, give himself the confidence, and
His last home race with the team.
yeah, exactly. It was great.
Very emotional. I'm glad if this is his only win that he gets this season. I'm glad his final race win with Mercedes was at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Mercedes, the team, have been thriving off of home races. Obviously, they don't have like a team home race because they're German and there is no German Grand Prix. However, okay, that hurt more than it was meant to. However, team principal Torge Christian Wolf is Australian? No, he is not.
Australian?
He is Austrian. Where did the L come from? Austrian. Torge Christian Wolf is Austrian. George Russell won in Austria for the team principal's home race. And then Lewis Hamilton rocks up to Silverstone and takes a home win for himself. That means we've had 2 home wins this year.
I hope you won't get the curse.
Oh no, don't. There is a mosquito in my room. Oh, no.
Hello.
I don't know where it's gone. Okay. I'm scared. I'm gonna get burned. Yeah, no, I hope we don't get the curse either.
Not fun.
Anyway, it could be worse. You could be Sergio Perez.
I mean, yeah. I never rated him as a very high driver, so I'm not really surprised that this is happening, but
He is currently P6, 118 points.
Yep.
Just ahead of the two Mercedes. He took 17th in Silverstone. Behind Charles Leclerc, who finished P14. And was Silverstone the race that Charles Leclerc pitted about 70 million times?
No, it was Austria.
Australia?
Austria.
No, I thought Celeste just said Australia. I was
Oh.
like, you too?
No, that's just you.
There is one driver we really have to talk about at Silverstone. Do you guys remember who finished P11? Logan Sargent took his best result of the season at Silverstone. One
To be
place.
fair, that Williams has been. I don't know what engine thingy Mercedes did, because I don't think they can really change the engine mid-season. But both the Mercedes, the McLarens, and also the Williams are like developing right now.
Aston Martin did really good at Silverstone as well.
Aston as well, yeah. Crazy.
Like, this is wild. Alex Albon finished P9, took points for Williams. Logan Sargent was just outside the points for Williams and fought a phenomenal race.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda once again outplaced his teammate. He finished P10 and Daniel Ricciardo finished P13, which, to be fair, that's the first time for a while since Monaco. But at the beginning of the season, it was very like neck and neck for a long time, and then obviously Yuki was just doing that tad better for a while ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. But since Monaco, Daniel Ricciardo finished P8 in Canada, Yuki was P14, Daniel Ricciardo finished P15 in Spain, and Yuki Tsunoda finished P19. Daniel Ricciardo took points in Austria in P9, Yuki Tsunoda was P14. So it's actually getting pretty neck and neck over there in the V-Carb, the Visa Cash Out Racing Bull.
The V-Carb.
The V-Carb.
V-Carb.
Lance Stroll and... What?
Was it the Cash App, buy one, get one free? In the words of James Bowles, Visa Cash App, buy one, get one free.
Sake. Yeah, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso both took decent points, P7, P8. Oscar Piastri, P4, just off the podium. Max Verstappen took 2 P2 behind Lewis Hamilton. Lewis beat him by 1.5 seconds, I think, in the end. It was getting very, very close. And then Lando Norris took P3, which was definitely not the result he was hoping for, and especially with the pace of the car. I do not know what was going on in the McLaren garage.
They spun a roulette wheel
Sunday.
and went, we'll have that tyre.
No, because when they pitted Max, Max going to hards. Max was like, cool. They pitted Lewis. Lewis were going to softs. Cool. Because neither Max nor Lewis had mediums. So they were going for the next best option. Lando Norris had fresh mediums, as did Oscar Piastri. So the smart idea would be to put him on the mediums, right? And they went to him, you've got fresh on the radio to Lando, they were like, hey, you've got fresh mediums. Max has put on hards, Lewis has put on softs. Who do you want to, like, who are you aiming for? Like, are you aiming to chase down Lewis? Are you aiming to defend against Max? Like, what do you want? And he was like, and he said he wanted softs. Whatever clean rubber he can get. So they put him on the softs. Which I genuinely think if he'd have put on some mediums, he could have won, or at least been close to winning. He would have at least finished P2. But in those softs, he could not compete against Max. And I can understand why he was gutted at the end of the day. Because it's his home race, and with a British team, and they could have won. Or at least finished P2. Very, very interesting over there in that neck of the woods. I don't think there's anything else important to talk about with Silverstone. Nico Hulkenberg, P6 again. P6 in Austria, P6 in Silverstone. I don't know what he's doing to that Haas, but he's dragging it to a decent points finish. He's now at P11 in the standings and 22 points. Like, what the hell? What the frick?
What the
Frickety fuck.
What the frick? The Hungarian Grand Prix for Formula 1 marks race 1 after the halfway point. So Silverstone was the ending of the halfway point. So now we are officially into the second half of the season. Second half of the season. Who do you think is going to win a race in the second half of the season that hasn't won a race so far?
Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri?
Yeah, hoping Oscar.
I'm hoping Oscar. I think...
He's got the pace for it.
Yeah, he does. I think he's the only driver that hasn't won a race this season that is probably capable of winning a race this season.
Yeah.
With, like, machinery. There are obviously other drivers that I think could be capable of winning a race, but not in the machinery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the top 3 is going to be at the end of the season?
Max, Lando.
Max, Lando, Lewis.
Oh, you think Lewis is Lewis? You think Lewis is going to climb that quick?
Lewis.
Lewis.
I'd say Max, Lando, and Oscar.
I was going to say maybe Max, Lando, Oscar, or potentially, actually, Max, Lando, Carlos. If I want to go different to you guys. So you're going Max, Lando, Lewis. You're going Max, Lando, Oscar. I'm just going to go Max, Lando, Carlos, just to be different. I'm just quirky like that. I'm just different.
Another quirky girl.
Just so quirky. Right. The only other thing we've got to diverse into this podcast is the FIA World Endurance Championship.
Oh god.
I could not tell you what happened. And
Neither.
this is the first
second.
This is the first WEC race I haven't watched this season.
I didn't even watch Twitter or like videos. I literally have no clue what's happened, just that the Toyota won because you told me.
Yeah. So
I have absolutely no clue.
I don't know. The reason I haven't seen it is purely based on the fact that I was working for most of it. By the time I was home and eaten and could put it on, I had like an hour of the race left. So I was like, right, let me go on Twitter just to like catch up on what's happened before I watch this, just so I know what I'm getting myself into. And the first thing I saw was the number 12 and the number 6 crashed into each other. So I chose not to put the race on for my own sanity at that point, because
Oh.
what do you mean my two cars crashed into each other? I don't know whose fault it was, because I haven't seen a clip of it, because half the people are saying it's the 12's fault, half the people are saying it's the 6's fault, all the Porsche fans are saying it's the 12's fault, all the like Callum Ilott fans are saying that it's the 6's fault. I don't know whose fault it was. I have no clue, so
Yeah.
I cannot comment on that. However, the Toyota number 8 somehow ended up winning, so I don't know how we got here, though.
I was on track both Saturday and Sunday, so I had no time to
Yeah.
watch any of it.
And to be fair, I wish I did watch the last hour of WEC instead of what I actually watched instead, so you win some, you lose some. However, I don't know how I would have felt watching Toyota win and also watching Spain win. I think I would have self-combusted. However, there was one positive for WEC. Kevin Esther, Andre Lotterer and Lawrence Van Thor took to P2 on the podium.
I don't hear a positive in that.
So now we are on 117 points. And in P2 right now is the number 50 Ferrari on 98 points. So we've made a little bit of a bridge since Le Mans. Yippee! Would you like to hear another positive? What?
You're first in a championship.
Yes, babe.
Oh, okay. I
How-
thought you said you were second.
No, you guys are second.
No, we're third. Toyota beat us.
No, in the teams, like as in like the teams, not the constructors.
I'd never watched
So
the
the drivers championship. You guys are the number 50s. Number 50 is P2. We're
I always just
With-
watched the manufacturer.
we're first in everything.
Okay.
I know that much.
Yeah.
In the drivers, number 50, it's the number 6, the number 50, and then the number 7. Well, 2 of the drivers from the number 7. The Porsche Penske number 5 was the third driver on the podium, so it was Toyota, Porsche. If the bloody number 6 didn't have such shambles of a Le Mans, I would not be stressed. Because we've had P1, P2, P2, and another P2. And then the Le Mans shamble, P4. The big problem I'm having with this is Le Mans gives you the most points, and the one race we fumble the bag in the most is the one with the most points. Why? Because do you know what this now means, the Le Mans fumble? Have you seen how close Toyota are now to us in the Manufacturers' Championship?
Yeah, it's like 4 points or something.
Yeah! I was happy and calm, but now Toyota's 2 wins. We have 2 wins. We have 2 seconds, they have 1 second and 1 third, and we both have a P4, right? You would think us having 2 seconds and them having a second and third would mean we're decently ahead. No, because they got their second at fucking Le Mans, which means they got more points than our second place.
I've watched the video.
Yep.
My personal opinion is the number 6 was at fault.
Well, funny you
So
say that
the number-
because the
the
number
number
12
12
got the penalty for it.
Well, the number 12 undertook another car. And the number 6 came up really close behind and then just shunted into the back corner. Now, I can understand people saying that the number 12 came across and was doing a bit of dodgy defending. But my personal opinion is that Van Thor got too, cagey.
Yeah, the number
Got too
12
eager.
got the penalty for the situation. Either way, they're both my
Yeah.
teams, so there's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're only 4 points clear. Bloody Le Mans. Still 3 races left of the championship to go. We've got Kota Fuji and Bahrain. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. We might be top right now, but we could very easily fall to third at any given point.
The last 5 years I've been watching WEC, it's been decided in the last race on the last hour, so...
Yeah, and I know for a fact, in true Porsche fashion, we're gonna fumble the bag. So
yeah, you have been doing that for like 4 years in a row.
yeah, yeah, everything all the time. There is one good thing though. The number 12 has Team Jota with 3 wins, a P3 and a P4, are storming away with the World Cup. For anyone that doesn't watch WEC, there are multiple championships rolling at the same time. You have, for the hypercars, this is removing from the LMGT3s, the MGT3s also have their own, but in the hypercar category you have the Drivers' Championship, which is for the drivers of the car. So the number 7, if you look at the standings, only have 2 drivers in P3, and that's because one of the drivers was missing for a race and therefore did not claim the points from that race. Therefore they do not count in the Drivers' Championship there. Yes, can't lie. So there's the Drivers' Championship that's going on. There is the Manufacturers' Championship that goes on. So that is your Porsches, your Toyotas, your Ferraris, Alpines, BMWs, Peugeots, Cadillacs, Lamborghini, and Isotta Fucini, who are the only manufacturer with 0 points.
Yay.
So they're your manufacturers. So that's like your Porsche Penske's, your Toyotas, your Ferrari F Corsas, that jazz. And then you obviously have your independent teams, so your hypercar teams, which are like Hertz Jotters, your Protons, and your AF Corse. And there is 4 cars in the World Cup. So it's just what they refer to the Hypercar Teams Cup as, is the World Cup. So if you go to a race or you watch the podiums after, you'll notice that they do like the class winners.
5 million podiums on the race.
Yeah. You got like your class winners for like Hypercar and LMGT3, and then you'll see more Hypercar drivers going to the podium, and that is the World Cup ceremony. So that is just a case of, so Hertz Jota, the number 12, has 3 wins, and that just means that they were the World Cup team that placed the highest in that race. It doesn't mean they got a win, it just means they placed the highest. So in Le Mans, the number 12 won the World Cup, and that's because they were the highest placed in the race for the World Cup teams. So they have 3 wins. They are currently on 140 points. The Proton competition, so the number 99 is on 86 points. The AF course is on 85 points. And then the number 38 is on 79, so they've got a pretty decent lead on that one.
It's literally the AF Corse fighting for all the Porsches.
Yeah, no, literally. It's literally the one AF course surrounded by Porsches.
Still surrounded.
The Iron Dames took pole position in
Slay.
Sao Paulo. That was reasonably short-lived for them, as they did in fact retire from the race. Pretty sure the car was on fire. It was smoking.
Smoking, and then it turned out it was a water issue with a water hose, so the engine couldn't cool. So it just smoked.
But they were running a phenomenal race until then.
Yeah.
I know that much. This is me keeping up with Twitter. The Manthe Pure Racing was the team to win. They are now 25 points in the lead in the championship. Joining them on the podium was the Heart Racing team, the number 27. And P3 was the 95 United Autosports car, which for them, great, because in Le Mans they retired and in Spa they retired. So coming off of 2 retirements, getting a podium would have been a great feeling for them. First podium of the season for them as well. Yippee! 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 When is COTA?
COTA is
The 2024 Lone Star Le Mans.
September? Like September 1st, that weekend?
Yeah, September 1st, you're correct.
Oh. Slay.
The launch, yeah, so that's the next one. So we've got until September now, so they've got summer break and work. F1, F2, F3, all their summer breaks are upcoming. Formula E is finishing for the season this weekend. What are we meant to do in August?
Oh, nice. Dutch Grand Prix.
There's not until the end of August. We've still got like 3 weeks in between to survive.
It's touring car, I think. I'm pretty sure they're on their summer break now.
I do not like the word touring car because I looked at the championship standings for that and I have decided to remove myself from this situation.
I get my tattoo at this rate.
Yeah, brilliant. So nice of you. So yeah, I think that's all the racing covered. There was IndyCar as well. I didn't watch IndyCar, but I don't normally watch IndyCar.
I haven't watched that.
We normally have to rely on Celeste, and
if
Celeste hasn't watched it, then it's probably an issue.
I'm normally very keen on like watching things back, but it's just the fact that I've had an insanely long and busy schedule. If you saw like British F4 and GB3 and the Euro Cup 3, it was chaos. They had to push her out with like scheduling and stuff like that. So I had so busy days on track and such like early wake ups. I was like, no, I can't be asked to watch IndyCar back for 2 races and then watch like a 6-hour race. There's no time for it.
For anyone that's new here, by the way, Celeste is a track marshal at Zandvoort.
Yes.
So, yippee!
We need to do a little special shout out.
Who are we shouting?
She's not here. She's not here today for the podcast. And I know some people may have seen our Instagram story, but a little shout out to Neom, who did her first live interviews for the podium for GB4 this weekend at Snetterton. She smashed it.
She did smash it.
She's a good little leg.
Job. Absolutely. Park Femme in the Wild. If any of you watched it, you would have seen her. Which, to be fair, she had the most perfect weekend for that as well, because Lucas Bakley took his first GB4 win and won a second time as well, I believe. Took 2 wins and another podium. So, she had a great weekend to be doing that. Yeah, I think that's everything. Obviously, London EP is coming up this weekend. As you watch it, this will be there. It'll be the Hungarian Grand Prix as you're watching this as well.
It's also Toronto for IndyCar, if I think right.
This is Canada.
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 Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
Calm down, Yasmin Weston.
I'll fall off the bed, don't worry, interview.
Oh, yeah. Keep an eye out on the channel. As you're watching this, you've got the Le Mans vlog finale coming on Tuesday. It was meant to be it was going to originally go up the Tuesday before this, but the video we had planned, there's been complications, so the Le Mans vlog finale is just not prepared to go up then, but it should be up for the Tuesday coming. And following on from that, we've got the London vlogs, and that will sadly, currently, as far as we're aware, be the end of the race season vlogs for the year. That feels really weird to say.
That feels so weird.
Because I remember when we were first, like, obviously discussing all the race weekend vlogs, and we're like, oh my god, yeah, planning everything, sorting everything. But the fact that London is like the last of like the race weekend vlogs, I might be going to British Touring Cars with Katie. I've got to double check like the weekends and stuff and whatnot. So if we do go, then there'll be a vlog from that. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, and
very weird.
We've been like sorting out, as you're watching this, we're filming this on the Monday and it'll go up the Friday, so we have like been trying to plan and work things. Might get around to filming a video this weekend, don't hold us to it, but we've got an idea for a video. And then it's going to be a bunch of like on-screen video stuff because we're not going to be seeing each other. We might see each other for Halloween. We'll just have to like schedule in a time around Halloween to like film a video.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. I did say to Celeste as well that I might come out to the Netherlands for a weekend or something. So if I do, we might film something then. So yeah, it's as much as I love both the Tuesday and the Friday uploads, and it's going to feel so weird not doing Tuesday and Friday uploads. It's going to be quite relaxing, but also I am really sad, but also there's no way we'd be able to film enough for Tuesday and Fridays when we're not
When our
together.
schedules,
Yeah, so yeah, just keep an eye out for all the stuff coming, obviously the London vlogs, and then anything else that comes after. Let us know down below in the comments, if you've made it this far, who you think is winning the London season finale, or just the Formula E season finale. Let us know who you think's winning. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Leave any other comments down below. Let us know what you want to see us do. Make sure you follow us on all of our social medias. They're at parcfem_. Check out the website. It's parcfem.co.uk. Loads of articles go out on there. There'll be a bunch of stuff coming from the Formula E weekend in London as well. And yeah, I think that's everything. Ciao bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Bella.
Ciao bella.